Willemsen is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukenen certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.
Round 11, and we're back in the UK for the first time in 13 years for a Sidecarcross Grand Prix, and we are in Salisbury, steeped in history, the magnificent cathedral, home to one of the 4 remaining copies of the Magna Carta from 1215. That's why there are so many sightseers and so many tourists in this beautifully historic city, and the track is but a few kilometres away. Spain was where it all kicked off. Van Lukenen and Musset were supreme in Talavera de la Reina. 1-0 to them. Moving on to Portugal, they did more of the same despite the best efforts of Etienne Bax. Head in the sand was Koen Hermans' playground, Kuben's disappointment, and it was Hermans who reigned. Grew then, and it was Van Lukenen again with Musset on home ground who took the spoils in France. Still, this championship goes on with Bax to flex his muscles, but it wasn't going to happen too much in Langer because Hermans and Ben van den Bogart lifted the spoils and went top of the box in Estonia. Poland, though, was where Bax and Cermak got their act together with a vengeance. They were on a mission in Poland, and from then on in, they had eyes on the championship leaders. Top of the box in Poland for them. Lovell again. Bax and Cermak reigned supreme in the deep stuff. They were coming, and they were coming fast. Germany was where Van Lukenen had another brilliant ride, but Bax too was strong. The red plate, though, fighting hard in Strasbessenbach. Very, very difficult conditions. Bax taking victory. Ireland saw the return of Stuart Brown. Bax and Cermak a little bit confused in the deep stuff. They and Van Lukenen took 1 win apiece.
Kilian and Yvon Prunier made a name for themselves in Strasbessenbach with fantastic hole shots, leading a Grand Prix. How did that feel to be leading the best in the world, Kilian?
It was a very great feeling of freedom. It was such a pleasure to lead the best pack of the world. So it gave us a lot of confidence for the following of the season.
Last week in Ireland, which was the next round, of course, a different sort of track. You still had a good weekend, but you didn't find it so easy. Yeah,
the weekend was very decent, but we had some technical issues, and the track was not what we are used to. The riding in the field, we don't have this kind of track in France, and it was really muddy, so it was not so easy for us. But now all is repaired. The bike is ready to put a maximum point for tomorrow.
Gert Gordieff and Iver van der Wiel had a good ride last weekend in the Irish GP. Gert, you'll be hoping for more of the same on this track. Have you had a look at it?
Yes, looks like this weekend the track is it's more like a sidecar racing track, so it looks really good. It's fast. There is some big jumps, so I hope we can do good this weekend. Yeah.
This has been a long season. This is round 11. Have you enjoyed the year so far?
Yeah, the beginning of the year for us it was quite difficult. In the second race in Portugal, we had a little mistake and I broke my hand. So after that, it has been quite hard to come back to compete those guys again. So we do our best, and hopefully we can gain some speed like with every race.
Adrian Petter and Joel Hoffman have had a good, consistent season. They are always in the mix. They're always beautifully turned out. A very professional team. You had a good ride in Ireland. Now you're here at this track. Adrian, what do you think of it?
Yeah, the track looks really, really good. We walked around. It's amazing to be here in the UK. Yeah, I'm really looking forward for tomorrow. Our season was till today or till Strasbessenbach a little bit, mixed feelings. but now we are ready after Strasbourg. You say always in the videos we found our mojo back, and I think we found our mojo back in Strasbourg, so we are ready for the rest of the season.
Yeah, but the remark I made about professionalism, you're always beautifully turned out, you're always immaculate, you're always on time, and you seem to really enjoy your racing.
Yeah, of course. It's a big part of my life. I enjoy everything, and I'm like, I need to do it 100% in every way. So therefore, yeah, I try my best also in the paddock to be professional, to organize everything well. So to be, doing our best on the track too.
And how did you and Joel come together? Where did that relationship start?
2 years ago, I think we trained together just for fun, and I feel immediately, Joel was quite young at this moment, and it feels very, very good. And then end of last year, we decided to go together. It was a big step for Joel, but the improvement was very good this season. It was a big step for him, but he does very, very good, and I'm really happy with my decision.
This weekend is round. It's track walk time again. We're here at Cusses Gorse, and I've got Joe Millard. We're on the highest point, I think, of the circuit, which is a massive tabletop. But just look behind us at those woods. Joe, how tough are they?
Yeah, they're tough. They're real physical on the legs. I think there's 9 or 10 of them. So, you know, when you come out of the corner, all you can see is the whoops, and it's like it's never ended.
Well, let's look across this tabletop. Let's just have a bit of a walk. This is what? 40 feet across here. There's a steep ramp. Can it be done in one?
It can be done, yeah, but it's a difficult one because it's so close to the right corner after. So if you come up a bit short, you end up bouncing off the end and then messing up the corner. So some guys are deciding to do it and take the gamble, some guys are coming up shorter and making the corner easier.
And then I suppose if you are short, then you can stay on the inside of the bin rather than getting in that loose stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it's always good to stay on the racing line if you can, and you know you're safe then.
What about these babies? There are a lot of them. You know, have you encountered any yet?
Yeah, we've had a few, and they do hurt. So it's not so fun with the roost, but it's what it is.
It's a great track. Such a pity, isn't it, that the club is losing it after the first Grand Prix here for 13 years. What does that say to you?
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating. You know, sidecars have only been coming here 4 years, and we've just sort of got our foot in the door with it. And it's so well prepared, and they got all the facilities here. And to know that this is the last race is, really devastating.
Do you think this Grand Prix will kickstart a new sort of emotion in this country and maybe get another one?
Yeah, I really hope so. I think so. There's so many people here, and it's looking really good. So we've got like a promoter who really wants to try and do another one, I believe. So I really hope this is a success and we can come here every year.
Yeah, and
or to the UK.
This is only Saturday. We've got 2 Grand Prix races tomorrow. Just swing round and look at that for a second. These rough ruts here. Just on our final note, this is only going to get worse, isn't it? Yeah,
tomorrow is going to be very physical, really tough little track. It's going to be hard. There's a lot of soft bits still, so very tough on the arms, very tough on the legs.
I wish you luck, mate, and you've got the whole weight of the UK on your shoulders. Lovely new strip, you look brilliant.
Yeah, thank you.
Qualifier Group A then, where they go, 15 head for the top of the hill, this left-hander, and who's got it? That's Koen Hermans. Koen Hermans number 3, Van Lukenen with him, Kerben on the inside, Marco Heinze and Rudy Betchart getting a cracking start as well into 4th place. Davy Sanders there, rest of them filing round, but what a start by Hermans. Hermans on the AMS 4-stroke, thundering up there ahead of Van Lukenen. Van Lukenen it is, red plate holder in 2nd, so qualifying. This is about grid positions. Look at Heinze, number 93. Heinze and Betchart on the KTM with Kerben and Dion Rietman going past them over the jump into 3rd place. Davy Sanders there as well, so Heinze might be able to cut back in. He's having a good look, but no, I think he's going to have to settle for 2nd best there behind the number 7 crew. Oh, Heinze's away in the deep stuff on the outside. Won't get the drive down there, and you can see how much he lost coming out of that left-hander against Kerben, who took the tight line and got the drive. Sanders, Luc Rostang, the number 9, Belgian-French pairing in 5th. Oh, very high for Van Lukenen. And I'll tell you something now. In practice, I did not see Van Lukenen clear the tabletop, but he's certainly doing it in the racing. Amazing, but there's a very big tabletop on the finish line before that right-hander. Where I was standing with Joe Millard, that is a massive tabletop, and I've not seen anyone, with the exception of the number 94 crew, Killian and Yvonne Prunier, clear that final finish line tabletop, and they do it in style, I can tell you, the number 94 French crew. Sanders, mega powered. The Austrian-built two-stroke, very much a rival to the standard Zabel, the Zabel that we've known for so many years. And now Heinze fighting back. Heinze taking that place again from Kerben. Marco Heinze is strong all the way through the races, and he just doesn't give up. He keeps plugging away. Father-to-be. Wife Anna very, very expecting. A couple of months, I think, October, the baby's due, and Heinze will take a season out of racing, but at the front, Hermans and Ben van den Bogart looking good here. Qualification race leaders. And they are about 8 seconds clear of Marvin van Lukenen at this point. And Van Lukenen now has got, that's the Van der Velde boys, Stacey and Alex Van der Velde, which they have now relegated. They caught up a little bit on Koen Hermans, who seems to have backed off here. That gap not as big as it was earlier in the race, but Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. Number 13, Mike Hodges. Mike Hodges and Jack Wilkinson mid-pack here, so in a good 8th place at the moment. Coming up behind Sven Visseling and Jens Vincent. Oh, look at that for 181. That's Mike Kuban, Zach Snell. Something happened there, and that was synchronized ballet dancing. Both right legs in the air, both nearly went over the front. Jake Brown and Josh Chamberlain making a return. Got tiptoe in the water, one off they said, but going really well. Didn't get the best of starts, but they're up to mid-pack as Hermans and Ben van den Bogart make their way over the whoops and then up towards the finish line to take the checkered flag. Victory for them in qualifying Group A, with Van Lukenen chasing some 10 seconds adrift in second place. Here Nicolas Mousset over these whoops that Joe Millard was talking about. Checkered flag then, the final tabletop, and that's it, done and dusted. Third place, Marco Heinze. It's going to be fourth for Kerben and Dion Rietman, and fifth place for Davy Sanders. There it is confirmed, Hermans, Van Lukenen, Heinze. Good ride for the Swiss. Kerben, Sanders, Prunier 6th, Jake Brown 7th, Mike Hodges 8th, brilliant. Chanteloup, Visseling, rounding out the top 10.
Mike, we haven't seen much of you and Zach this season, but that was a good race. For 2/3 of it, you were really in a good fight.
Oh yeah, we definitely did. We had some problems with the start. We crashed into someone else. His cutout came out, got back going, made a few places. Then our cutout came out, got back on the fight, got a few places back, and just 2 laps to go, the connection of the fuel line snapped, and we had no fuel. So end of the race really.
What do you think of the track here at Cusses Gorse? Do you like it?
I do like it. It's nice. It's got nice jumps. The turns are alright. It's hard work here because there's basically no place to rest. It's just full on turn, jump, step up, step down, turn. So it's hard work, but I do really like technical tracks.
Group B then, 15 seconds, looking for the 5-second board, and the gate drops and away we go on the inside, hard left, Etienne backs, heading for the top of the hill, but look at Tim Prumer, Rodolphe Le Breton, the number 17 German French crew, God, trademark job again for these whole shot boys. They are so good at it. Tim Prumer, Rodolphe Le Breton, Dan Foden, Ryan Humphrey. Then it's Bax. Bax on the outside, the 82, alongside Dan Foden. Foden gets the thing off the line as well. Left-hand chair, of course. Prumer, right-hand chair. 690 KTM with all the punch in the world. And he's riding so well. Rodolphe Le Breton, the young French passenger, just jumps in with anyone and does a great job. This, the second time he's raced with Prumer, once in Grand Prix, once in German Championship. But Prumer then, with Bax in front now of Dan Foden. Then it looks like that's Brett Wilkinson in fourth. I was going to say Van der Lagerman, but it's Brett Wilkinson in new strip here. Red, white and blue, very patriotically decked out in the Union flag colours. The 199 crew, there they are. Joe Millard out of the chair. Right behind them, the Lille Bardis boys. Lille Bardis pushing hard as well. Daniel and Bruno, Lille Bardis, the 101 crew, looking fantastic. On the outside, they look like Stuart Brown, who got a cracker there. Stuart Brown, the 88 crew. Stuart Brown and Nathan Cooper. There's Dan Foden, ahead now of Prumer. Prumer going back slightly, and up comes to play Brett Wilkinson, throwing it around the outside of the German, getting the drive as well, and away with it, taking the place. So Tim Prumer's had him swarming all over the back of him. He's now got the young 17-year-old Latvians for company, and they're going to be hungry. They have really honed their craft this season and are getting stronger and stronger. And if you want to look at future champion, look no further than the 101 plate. And there's a horde of Latvian supporters here. They seem to be everywhere. The flags are going, they've got the odd chainsaw, the air horns are going. Foden then now has got fellow Brit and fellow British Championship contender Brett Wilkinson right with him. Foden and Wilkinson. We go for the same lines, of course, both left-handed chairs. Wilkinson does not need this. He's got to find a way past Dan Foden, the number 10 crew. He and Ryan Humphrey doing a fantastic job, I have to say, back so soon from that injury where they both broke bones in their back. And, well, it's just amazing to see them riding like this as past goes Big Brett. Wilkinson then with a horde of fans here as well. Amazing turnout here, and I have to say the Waterlooville Club have done a terrific job. Bradley Skeets, the driving force behind getting the GP back in the UK after 13 years, and here comes Lille Bardis on Foden and going through with what seemed consummate ease, with a Latvian flag in the background. What a coincidence. They're everywhere, those Latvian flags. I'll take a breath here, it's getting pretty frantic. Gert van Verven going through. And the rest of the pack, that's Lee Foyle and Dan Phelps, the 145 crew. Lee Foyle, a regular British Championship contender. We don't see him on the Grand Prix scene, but I have to say, they're doing a good job here. He and Dan Phelps riding well together. Van Verven, Robert Avena, number 11 crew. Van Verven with a plated right collarbone after an accident in Lommel, which took him out for at least a couple of meetings. Don't take long, these guys. They get it stitched up and they're back in business. Stuart Brown now having a look. Stuart Brown, oh, Foden stopped, went wide in the deep stuff as Stuart Brown slipped through the inside. Wilkinson and Lille Bardis at it now. Nip and tuck, tooth and nail. Lille Bardis is by the British crew. So Lille Bardis now up to second place, ahead of Brett Wilkinson, who will not take that lying down. Let's hope he doesn't have to take it lying down. Got a lot to do here. Prumer still going. Now Prumer swarming all over the back of Dan Foden. That little mishap in the loose stuff costs the British crew dearly and allowed the German-French pairing to catch up. The number 17 very, very easily picked out in their orange and blue. Looking so good here. Who have we got now? Bax. Well, Etienne Bax and Andre Chermak have made this race their own with a 15-second advantage to take the checkered flag and victory in quali race B from Daniel and Bruno Nilbardis. And that's what 15 seconds looks like on the track. Again with a Latvian flag in the background. Third place, Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. Crowd are happy with that. The sun's been shining here. There it is, confirmed. Bax, Nilbardis, Wilkinson, Stuart Brown, Tim Prumer. Stefan Wires, Dan Foden. So Stefan Wires got past Foden. Gert van Verben, Lee Foyle, Wyman, Kinge, and Wilfred Vos rounding up the top 12.
Stuart, home soil, a big crowd, the sun's out, and we saw the Stuart Brown of old.
Yeah, it went well. We started off okay. Felt like we got in a bit of a rhythm halfway through. We still got a bit to do on this fitness, the pair of us. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll all go well tomorrow.
It wasn't a bad start. You were what, sort of 5th, 6th-ish at the first turn?
Yeah, around about 6. And then we made a couple of passes, so it was good. But we come together with Dan and Ryan, but everything was good in the end, so it wasn't a problem.
Have you ridden this track in British Championship?
Yeah, we've ridden it before. All good. All the jumps was good. I mean, they seem to have obviously squared everything up a little bit now, which makes it a little bit more difficult for us. But yeah, it's a good circuit.
In our Spotlight feature this week, we're talking to German Tim Prumer and his French stand-in passenger, I have to say, Rodolphe Le Breton. They've done extremely well. At the moment, they're in 8th place in the championship, but 25 points behind Davy Sanders. Tim, you've had a very good season, first full season with GPs, and here you are with a stand-in passenger. But are you happy with your year so far?
Yeah, of course. I'm really happy. I think the whole team is really happy, and yeah, everything is going well. And if something is not going well, like Janu's knee now, we got still some luck and find good persons and opportunities to go on.
Yeah, let's talk about Jarno. I mean, you were riding really well together. He's very young, enthusiastic. It must have been devastating when he couldn't go on, and you must have thought the season was maybe over.
Yeah, it is. It was not easy for me. We worked a lot together for it, and I'm not so experienced that I can change a passenger like it's no problem or something. For me, for my head was a big problem that he will be missed in the future for this season. So yeah, I was really happy when we did the first race together and find out it's working good with Rodolphe.
Rodolphe, you're a young man, but you've already had a lot of experience. You come with a good pedigree. You've ridden with a multiple world champion, and you have always been on point and done a great job. Are you excited to be with Tim?
Yeah, I'm very excited. When he asked me for make some race in a German Championship or World Championship, I say yes directly, because I have already no driver and I know Tim. He was a fast guy, not crazy, and make a very nice job on the sidecar. So I say yes directly.
We've talked always in this series about how this sport is a family thing. People grow up through the family. Their father did. That's typical of you. You actually raced with your father.
Yeah, I start.
For how many seasons?
Yeah, I start 2 seasons with my father, and after I change with friend and yeah, some other guy. And after I make two French titles with Grenadier Auvray. And after that, I have the opportunity to ride with Daniel Williamson. So I learn a lot with him, and now I'm here.
Great to see you here. I mean, as I say, your pedigree speaks for itself. And in terms of weight, he's not so different from Janusz Stegmans, I guess.
I think it is a bit. I think they are maybe 10 kilograms or something different, but I really didn't feel that much now. In the first time we rode together, I feel a bit, difference in style and working, but he's doing a great job. He's working hard every time. Every time I look to my side, he's on the ground, so there's really no problem for us. And a bit less weight means a bit more power on the rear wheel.
Brilliant. Well, thank you both, Tim, Rodolph. Thanks for joining us. Good luck for the weekend. That goes without saying. And I'm as excited as anyone, I can promise you. I always am. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The beautiful city of Salisbury in England. Such history here, a magnificent cathedral, quintessentially English, lots of people celebrating their history in this marvellous place where one of the original copies of the Magna Carta is kept from 1215. Where else would you find history like that? But we're here to do motocross, and it's not far outside the city. Riders presentation time. The weather, I can tell you here, is atrocious. Not too bad yesterday for qualifying, but come race day, the sky is grey, leaden, and it's been raining, and it's cold. Cold wind. You would not think this is July, but does not dampen the spirits of the fans and the riders and the teams and the officials at presentation time when they all get to meet their heroes. Bradley Skeets is the racing manager of the Waterlooville Motorcycle Club and the man responsible for getting this British Grand Prix, the first in 13 years, off the ground here in Cusses, Gorse. Bradley, a fantastic achievement. And as you look around, you're looking at the track behind you. What does it mean to have it all come to fruition?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Good for the club. Good for the British Sidecarcross. Good for the fans. It's yeah, well happy with today. Hopefully tomorrow we get a few more spectators in and go again maybe next year.
You've been working towards this for a long, long time. I know that. Did you underestimate the amount of work, or are you not surprised?
I knew it was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be tough, but we've got brilliant. There's only a few of us, and we've had a lot of the British supporters or team members help us. It's been a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It's been a lot of work, and maybe I did underestimate a little bit. But wheels turn today, so we're ready to go.
A good crowd, good support, the weather's been kind.
Yeah.
I mean, sidecar motocross was an integral part of the British sporting calendar, and to have it not here is almost sacrilege.
It is indeed, yeah. I mean, to wait 13 years, especially with a club previously running 4 British GPs, it's big. It's big to have it back with a club and in the UK.
And the irony is that this is the first and last time it will ever be on this ground, because sadly the track is being reclaimed by the landowner.
Unfortunately, yeah. Justin, who is, he's the main man, track man. I've worked with Justin numerous times now, and he's brilliant. He's the best at building the tracks, best at watering, best at prep. So if we go somewhere else, I'm sure I'll ask Justin to come along with us.
And why wouldn't you? What a fantastic track. But it's Koen Hermans top of the pile for lining up. Quickest in quali A. They alternate A, B, A, B, A, B. Back second fastest, Van Luckelen, Liel Bardis, Heinzer, Wilkinson, a big crowd supporting the British riders here. Prunier, fastest of the Frenchmen at the moment. Wires, Jake Brown making a return. Dan Foden, they're close together. Hodges, all the Brits there. Left-handed chairs in the middle of the pack. 30 will go from the line this time, so it's going to be very, very busy. Pre-race ritual, the weather, as I say, particularly bad, so they're going to need plenty of rip-offs, tear-offs, roll-offs, false lenses. Race 1, just round the corner, and it's going to be any time now. .30 on the line there, watch the gate, down it goes, nearest to us, Koen Hermans. Oh, that's Kerben, and George Kinge stuck on the line, so, Taylor and Charlie's for them, but it's Van Luckelen with Bax at the front, Hermans with the red helmets, the number 3 crew. It's Etienne Bax has got it from Marvin Van Luckelen. Koen Hermans in 3rd, Liel Bardis 101, then it's Gert van Vermen, there's Tim Prumer, number 17, the blue and orange crew. Van Luckelen jumping past Etienne Bax into the lead. Well, I can tell you something. We watched Van Lukenen during free practice and qualifying. He hardly cleared the tabletop. So this man has kept his powder dry. How do you keep your powder dry in these conditions? Well, you play it very, very cannily. He knows that to clear the tabletop is worth a second a lap. And that's what he's going to try and do, I think. Van Lukenen then second's got Hermans on the back of him. Then it's the Leelbardis twins. Daniel and Bruno Leelbardis, just 17 years of age. The red plate holder leads though. Then it's Tim Prumer, cracking start. Then it's Marco Heinze. Then it's Gert van Verven, Robert de Vena. Stuart Brown is in there. It's going to be so difficult. You're going to have to bear with me on this, folks. I'm looking like you. Can I spot them? I'll do my best. Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard had a shocking start, and they're having to work from the back. They're on the back of Joshua and Noah Weinman, the number 25 German crew, the young Germans, 20 years of age and 18 respectively, so they have got a glittering career ahead of them. There's a hand in the air going over the top. I saw a hand. It's Prumer. It's Prumer. I saw the passenger's hand go up. Prumer is going into pit lane with a problem. What a shame after such a cracking start. Stuart Brown, the 888. Brett Wilkinson right on the back of his fellow countryman. The multiple British champion. Oh, Wilkinson and Millard upside down. They just went into the soft start. Oh, they've collected Dan Foden as well. Put the cycle wheel down on Dan Foden. Dan Foden, Ryan Humphrey though, undeterred, fire it up and go again. Romaric Chanteloup and Bastien Chopin, the number 40 French crew, managed to escape from that one. Now we've got Gert van Verven, Robert de Vena with Stuart Brown and Nathan Cooper, 888. They are fighting as hard as they can. Stuart Brown back from injury. What a veteran, what a tough man he is. And what a player in these conditions. No stranger to the mud, of course, coming from the UK. But Gert van Verven has got this one round the outside. Stuart Brown. Oh, Nathan Cooper doing a great job. Over they go. It's Brown's. Brown's got the line. He's on the inside. And he's got Gert van Verven. Van Verven coming back from a broken collarbone, which has been plated. There's Koen Hermans. Koen Hermans, there's Leelbardis, 101. Massive support for the Latvians here. Oh, what a fantastic first race we have got here. Who's that sideline? Couldn't see the number. No men on board. Hermans has stopped. Oh, Leelbardis in the back of him. Leelbardis with his head down, wasn't looking. Hermans has got a problem and he is out of it. He and Ben van den Bergart sideline. What a catastrophe for them. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. The drama goes on. Joshua Weinman. Wilkinson now past and away. Looking now for the rest of the British crew. Where is Dan Foden? Well, he had a fairly good start. Jake Brown is working his way through the field as well, and that is Jake Brown. Jake Brown and Josh Chamberlain, the number 100 crew, and they are working through really well in 8th place and marching on. There's Brett Wilkinson, 199, from that bad start, having to make amends and do what they can, but they're making great progress. They're ahead now of Van Verven. Van Verven dropping back down the order a bit in 8th place at the moment. Still Wilkinson and Miller. Davy Sanders, the mega, has ground to a halt. Davy Sanders and Luke Rostang out of race 1 in these appalling conditions. Great track though, it's still riding well, far from unrideable. Kerben, we saw him stuck at the gate. Kerben and Dion Rietman, number 7, fighting through. That's Jake Brown on the back now of Gert van Verven, on the inside and making his way through in pursuit of Kerben. So who's going to get the better of whom here? One thing's for sure, both Jake Brown and Justin Kerben have gone past Gert van Verven. There's Jake Brown on the back of Kerben now. So the left-hand chair of Jake Brown making a one-off here, he says. A one-off. We'll see how it goes, he said. If we have a good ride, you never know, we might come back, and they have had a good ride. They've gone through on the inside of Kerben. Kerben, though, won't take that line down. He's on the inside line now. Coburn has got a lot to lose here. He's in a strong championship position coming into this round in the UK. Oh, 1-8, one out of it. That's a shame. As Mike Coburn having a bit of a problem, to say the least. He and Zach Snell retiring from the race. Marco Heinze, is he riding strongly or what? He's now got Brett Wilkinson behind him, and two left-handed chairs are going to be following the same lines, or near as makes no odds. There's Stuart Brown has stopped, so the rate of attrition in this race as Van Luckenen heads for victory. Stuart Brown on the last lap, he and Nathan Cooper out of the running, but Van Luckenen, checkered flag for him, protecting his championship lead. So the 18 points now moves to 21 with Etienne Bax and Andre Chermak. We barely saw them, but they have been second all the way through, 10 seconds adrift. In third place, it's going to be the Lille Bardis boys. Fantastic, fantastic result for them. And are they going to get an overall podium? I won. Third in race one, not bad. Confirmation then, Van Luckenen, Bax, Lille Bardis, Heinze, Wilkinson. What a ride by Brett and Joe from a really bad start. Jake Brown, terrific. Coburn, Prunier, Gert van Verven and Chanteloup in the top 10.
Koen, what a shame. Such a strong start, and then after 6 laps, it all went to nothing.
Yeah, I already feel something, that there was something wrong in the beginning. So yeah, it was not easy to follow Etienne and Marvin, and then I want to shift the gear up, but it didn't do it. So yeah, there was some problems with the gearbox. So yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was not so easy.
And then on top of that, someone crashed into you.
Yeah, Lille Bardis was, I think, 6 or 8 seconds behind us, and I was looking what the problem was, and then yeah, he hit us on the back. I think he was just looking to the ground. I don't know what he did, but yeah, there was not something wrong. So yeah, we will see the second heat.
The modern world of sidecar motocross owes a huge debt to Wasp motorcycles in the UK. In fact, I'd go so far as to say without Wasp's involvement from the early 60s, there would be no sidecar motocross as we know it today. I'm with Mark Coombs at Wasp Motorcycles, still existing, still producing. You're much smaller, Mark, but as busy as ever, and the interest is still there.
Very much so, yes. Yes, there's only 3 of us now, but we still produce 100 frames a year. In the traditional way, everything's done the way it was done when I started in '93. We don't do so many sidecar bikes now, but we've got about 5 on order at the moment.
What about the older models? Are you involved in producing parts and spares?
We still produce where possible, yes. So we've still got 90% of the moulds for the fiberglass, a lot of the jigging for the accessories and bits and bobs.
We're looking at one now which is standing outside. That's an RT2. They were all numbered RT after Reinhardt, of course,
yes, they
the
were,
founder.
Yes.
So how many iterations of the RT were there? Where did it end?
There are 47 RT frames. The last half a dozen I've created over the years, mostly odd solos and specials.
What does it mean to you to carry on this tradition and still be involved in something which has been so important?
It's a huge legacy. I grew up a mile from where Robbie Reinhardt lived, so I knew of Wasp from as much as big as I could walk. And it's an honour and a great privilege to continue it. I was very close to Robbie for a long time.
I can see you're emotional, and I can understand why, and it obviously means so much to you, and as far as you're concerned, you'll continue to do this.
Yes, I feel like I'm a custodian of Wasp, to say. The name, the legacy is all very important. Whether we do many sidecars or not, we're still sidecar people. And we try and keep it as traditional as we can.
Do you ever get an inquiry for a modern frame to be used in the modern world of sidecar motocross?
We have had inquiries over the years, unfortunately, most people want us to fund the development of it, and we just don't have that capacity anymore. If somebody came for us with some money, we'd be quite happy to do it.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant to talk to you, and it's great to look around here and to learn that you're essentially two people, sometimes a third, and the company goes on. So
yeah,
all our admiration and best wishes.
Thank you. It's a great honour to be associated with this British Championship.
What a privilege to have a look round Gorse. Their legacy lives on, and we've got the modern equivalent of it here today. Their legacy does indeed live on. Race 2 is not too far away. Riders proceed to the line, 30 of them, all ready to do battle in these very, very wet conditions. It's coming up, don't go away. Here we go then, 30 again. Koen Hermans right on this side, or is he? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Koen Hermans is in there, but that's Kerben. Kerben sliding round. Oh, who's that upside down? Gert van Vermen. Robert Aveda. Don't want that when you've got a newly mended collarbone, do you? Brilliant start by Etienne Bax. Etienne Bax, Hermans now fourth behind Pruma. Kerben, Etienne Bax then, ahead of Kerben. Marvin van Lucena in sixth place at the moment, off the gate. So he needed a good start, he didn't get it. Etienne Bax did get one, so did Kerben, so did Pruma, having sorted his first race problem. There is Marvin van Lucena, race 1 winner, the red plate holder, behind Koen Hermans. Koen Hermans then, better luck this time, hopefully for them. Kerben leading a freight train of activity, headed by Tim Pruma, the orange and blue, Rodolphe Le Breton, his passenger, who's such an accomplished young man. We spoke to them actually yesterday, and yeah, he knows the business, he knows what he's doing. Van Lucena, off comes a rip-off, right in front of Brett Wilkinson. That is not a time to dally, Marvin, because Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard anxious to make amends. Hermans looked like he was coasting. Koen Hermans then, if you had any luck at all, it would be bad luck. It's just not going to be their GP. There's Dan Foden, number 10. There, Jake Brown, number 100 going through. Lille Bardis boys in red and blue this time. Well, turquoise and blue, I think, or turquoise and red, not sure. Kerben still leading the pack ahead of Pruma. Van Lucena making ground now on the back of the German-French number 17 outfit. Van Lucena and Nicolas Massé with his French passenger. Vive la France, both those guys doing an absolutely brilliant job for their home nation. Van Lucena high in the air, that's where he's strong, over those tabletops, very, very strong, and he's past Tim Pruma. One more step up the ladder for Marvin van Lucena, and now all he's got to do is nail Justin Kerben and then set after Etienne Bax. But Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard, alongside the Lille Bardis boys. Pruma is there ahead of the Lille Bardis boys. Dan Foden is coming into the picture. This is getting busy now. Foden has got Van Lucena climbing all over the back of him. Dan Foden, Ryan Humphrey, these boys back from injury, I remind you, and on the inside, Van Lucena straight through. Oh, no prisoners taken there. Ryan Humphrey couldn't even get out of the chair because Van Lucena sidecar wheel was right there and the handrail was stopping him. But still, Pruma is holding on ahead of Kerben. Here comes Van Lucena. What a fantastic battle all the way through this race. This is sidecar motocross the way you want it. These are the conditions the way you want it. It is still raining. There's an absolute galaxy of umbrellas around the circuit, and the spectators undeterred by the conditions here. Oh, Kerben has held up the traffic. That's given a present to Brett and Joe. Oh dear me, Lille Bardis not going to be happy with that. He got stuck behind Kerben. That's allowed Pruma to get back in touch. Here comes Marco Heinze, Rudy Betchard, the number 93 Swiss crew. Oh, Justin, just in time. Well, that was just in time to let Wilkinson through, and upside down goes Wilkinson. What happened there? Wilkinson and Millard both lying on the ground. I did not see that. I don't think anybody saw that. The next thing we know is Wilkinson is upside down. Van Lucena was behind him. Not sure. Maybe there's contact. We don't know. Will we get a replay of that? Well, it's anybody's guess. Meanwhile, at the front, Etienne Bax, Andre Cermak reversing the decision in race 1, and it's going to come out again on as even, because if Van Lukenen makes it through to second, then it's a first and second apiece. Status quo, but at the front, Bax and Cermak well clear. They're well and truly out on their own as Van Lukenen charges to try and make amends. Van Lukenen, Nicolas Mousset in pursuit. And coming up behind a British outfit, I could make out whether, I think that was probably Brett Wilkinson going again, but I couldn't. There's Jake Brown and Josh Chamberlain. Yeah, that must have been Brett and Joe Miller that Van Lukenen, and they are a lap adrift, I would assume, after that tumble. It took them a while to get going. Race leaders then, Etienne Bax, Andre Cermak, on their way to victory here and reversing that decision. So brilliant. 18 points will still be the gap if Van Lukenen brings it home in second place, and he is currently in second place, looking strong ahead of Jake Brown. Here they are then, second place for Van Lukenen, Nicolas Mousset. Checkered flag for them, they'll be relieved. And look at this for Jakey boy. Brilliant ride for these two on a comeback ride. Surely now they'll be inspired to do some more. Fist in the air for the new daddy. Confirmation, Bax, Van Lukenen, Jake Brown, Leal Bardis fought up to fourth. Good ride, boys. That gets them on the podium. And that makes it a very special day indeed for the Latvians. Kerben there in fifth.
Daniel, first podium for you in the World Championship. A great ride, you're just getting quicker every round.
Yeah, the feelings are amazing. The speed was also super great. The first start was also super great. So yeah, we had the speed and we know we can get to the podium. Yeah. And the whole week was so great. The fans were so great. All the fans, we can feel them in the track. Also on the podium, it was super good.
When I spoke to you in Ireland, you said mud is not a problem for you. You're used to it in Latvia.
Yeah, in Latvia it's almost all the time in races the mud. Yeah, we liked really this track. It was great for us. I think it suited us. Yeah, but yeah, the feeling was great on the track. Also, yeah, we liked the rain and bit, and it was better for us, I think.
Marvin, you really had the speed today, but in race 2 you had a problem.
Yeah, the start was already not so good, I think on 5 or 6, and we came back to 3, I think so, and then we want to push by Kerben, and the kill switch go out, so yeah, we came back from 8 till the second, and I think yeah, that was the highest possible second race.
You retain the red plate, that gap is still the same, so it's onwards now to the Czech Republic.
Yeah, we will see. It's another week and the same points, so yeah, we will see. We do our best and with the whole team, and yeah, we're looking forward for Czech Republic already.
Etienne, second race victory, a complete repeat of last weekend, but you maintain that 18-point gap.
Yes, yeah, what can I say? You know, we hope to close the gap a little bit. You know, it did not happen. It was, like you always say, damage limitation, and I think this was the best for today. Yeah? We had some. Was not easy for us in the first moto, for nobody, I think, and we could only finish on the second position, and the second moto was much better. You know, we had decent starts, so we are happy about the weekend. But yeah, you know, from next GP, Loket, we need to try to close the gap.
Look at that then, 18 points that gap. Van Lukenen, Bax, Hermans. Brett Wilkinson missed a golden opportunity today to close on Hermans, but it was not to be. Leal Bardis have leapfrogged over Kerben. They are now in 5th, the young Latvians. Sanders, Tim Prummer there in 8th, and the rest of the guys, they are all a class act. Cannot wait until we get to the Czech Republic. It's going to be an absolutely cracking event in Loket. Why don't you come and join us? Dan Foden there, 18th ahead of the Weinman boys. Ryan Humphrey, his expression says it all. The Leal Bardis boys, what a great performance. Their first Grand Prix overall podium. What a cast of superstars we have. Join us again for the next round in Loket, Czech Republic.
We never stop, still going when you finish. And even when we bleed, still believe that we can win this. We got what's underneath, you're all about that image. We never even stop at the top, no limits. Champions, and we're the champions. And we're the champions. And we're the champions. So bring it on.
Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin Van Luken certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.